Hello there. Today I'm going to be talking through my final major project presentation, and I'm going to give a bit of an overview into my idea development and thoughts and feelings behind this piece. And I'm also going to be covering everything that the writing doesn't quite explain in much detail. So there will be a bit more of a thorough element to this presentation as well. So this is my final major project for college. So I'm going to be incorporating everything that I've learned over the past couple of years doing art and design level 3, and I'm going to be incorporating it into my final piece. So, my discipline is multimedia art. So, I like to work with various different media and materials, and I like to incorporate new ideas and media into my work. And I find this an incredibly interesting perspective because when I create a new piece, I often find that I don't really know where to start. But I feel by incorporating new ideas, it's almost like every project is different and no two projects are the same. After through my couple of last projects at college, I have been experimenting with abstract art and mark making. This is something that I found really enjoyable. And this is something I'd like to bring forward in my final project. This is the media that I'm choosing to use. I found a real passion in making this, and this is something that I want to carry on experimenting with throughout my time at college and beyond. So, my idea for this project is to create a series of multimedia paintings, and I'm going to be looking at landscapes and ideas and objects from my environment. I'm going to try and paint using various different materials and techniques and processes, and I'm going to try and incorporate other multimedia elements into my work as well, such as photography. And I'm going to be trying to experiment with different mixtures. So I'm going to be researching famous artists and looking at how they mix their paint and how they applied it as well. My materials, techniques, and processes are mostly going to be revolving around paint, but I'm also going to be trying to create frames and canvases as well. And I'm going to be trying to add more dimensions to my work. So I'm going to be experimenting perhaps maybe with photography and photo montage as well. So I'm not just going to be working on painting, but I'm also going to be incorporating other media as well. My theme for this project is about my environment. Now, there are many artists who depict their environment, be it a landscape or a portrait painting, and I haven't really experimented with this much. And this is something that I would like to have a go at further. And I want to be able to create several pieces that showcase how I see the world and how I feel about my own environment. So this is what I'm going to be doing for this period. Okay, so these next few slides are going to be about artists that inspired this project and artists whose style I mainly like. So my favourite artist at the moment is Anthony Pierce because I like his multi-dimensional use of paint, and I like the fact that he incorporates various different elements into his work, much like my own artwork. As you can see, he likes to work with various different colours, textures, and patinas, and this is something I find to be really inspirational as well. I find his artwork almost challenging as it's quite abstract in nature and not what would be classed as traditional or classic art in any way. And as you can also see, he incorporates symbols as well, which is another thing that I like to work with within my own art. Another artist that has really inspired me is Frank Auerbach. He does more figurative and portrait painting, and he also works within landscapes as well. He uses heavily textured paint, and he also works with line as well. It's this use of thick textured paint that's something that I really enjoy about his work, and this is something again I want to incorporate into my own art. I want to work with thicker paint mixtures, but I also want to have a go at perhaps depicting things such as portraits or landscape paintings as well. So his use of line will really help with that. This artist is called Anton Kiefer. He's inspired various different projects throughout my time at college, and I really love his work because it's so multi-dimensional and multimedia that it can't really be pinpointed down to one genre. I like the fact that he uses multiple different materials, such as you can see here, fabric and pieces of plant. And this is something I'm considering doing for my own project. I'm considering working with various different textures and media as well. So I'm really trying to bring forward almost several different art forms into one. As you can see here, for example, he's experimenting with painting and photography as well. And this is something that I'm seriously considering for my final piece. As you can see, he's great use of patina and texture as well, which is another element of my work that I like to incorporate in and work within. Here is my ideas for my evaluation. There is an evaluation at the end of every project, and I will mainly explain my thoughts and feelings about how the project went, how I feel I can improve, and what aspects I really enjoyed of it. However, with that being said, I'm also going to be looking at being more analytical within my research and more annotations for my experimentations. I've now developed two sketchbooks, one being my overall research sketchbook, in which I talk about my artists and do write ups of different experiments and workshops that I've done, and the other my experiments book, which is a bit more of the messier side of things, where I simply jot down notes about previous experiments and my initial thoughts and feelings about them. And this is also where I put a lot of my paint mixtures in as well. I'm going to be reflecting a lot as well throughout this project. I'm going to be writing regularly in my sketchbook on a weekly basis, and this is something that I want to keep a tab on throughout my project because I want to be more thorough with my research and I also want to be more thorough with my evaluation of my art. So, this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.